magical mystery tour. You know what? That was actually, ladies and gentlemen, an experimental movie that the Beatles made about a bus tour. And nobody could figure out what the Beatles were up to either. With the same token, nobody knows what Palin's up to. They're all trying to figure out, drive-bys are trying to figure out what Sarah Palin's up to. Now, the interesting thing is that whatever it is she is doing it bypassing the media. She's doing an end around the media, and they're not happy about it. They do not like this a bit. We start with a media montage of Palin getting under the skin of the drive-bys.
Governor Palin likes to call us the lamestream media, and her organization refuses to give us a schedule.
We don't have a schedule. We don't know where she's going to be popping up.
There's no published schedule, no advance teams.
She's been a bit mum about her schedule.
There is no official schedule. She has no advance teams. How do we know that she's going to show up?
She wouldn't even give out her itinerary, seemed to be avoiding answering questions.
You need some advance notice. You can't just have this all be by the seat of her pants.
That's Jonathan Alter there from, where is he now? MSNBC, Daily Call. Those Newsweek guys have all been blown up. They're in other places now. So they're ticked off. She won't tell them where she can be popping up. There's no schedule, no press availability. No, why do they care? She's an idiot anyway. What does it matter what Sarah Palin's doing? She's stupid. That's what they think. Why should she give them anything? Now, she did. This ticked them off even more. I guess she invited Greta Van Susteren on the bus. She had Greta with her because this morning, FoxNews.com, Greta's On the Record page, the webpage, they posted a clip of tonight's interview of Palin. Van Susteren said, everybody trying to find out where you're going, what you're doing. What do you say about that? Because everybody seems to be talking about it.
I don't think I owe anything to the mainstream media. I think that it would be a mistake for me to become some kind of conventional politician and doing things the way that it's always been done with the media in terms of relationship with them. Tell them to come along and we'll orchestrate this, we'll script this, and we'll basically write a story for you, media, about what we're doing every day. No, I want them to have to do a little bit of work on a tour like this. It's not about me, it's not a publicity-seeking tour, it's about highlighting the great things about America, and the media can figure out where we're going if they do their investigative work, or they're going to keep kind of, as you put it, going crazy trying to figure out what we're doing here.
You know, she's got a point. They're sitting around waiting for an itinerary so they know where to go. She said, I can do a little work and they can follow us. All they got to do, a little investigative work and follow us. I mean, the bus is clearly viewable. It's not invisible. I kind of like this. What, you don't like that, Snerdley? Well, of course well, now, Snerdley says it's not going to sit well. Nothing she does is going to sit well. This, she knows. Now, yesterday on Fox and Friends, Peter Doocy talked to Palin. They taped this Sunday in Arlington, Virginia, on the Rolling Thunder Tour. And Doocy said, are all of your events on the bus tour going to be this loud? Because she was with the biker boys.
It would be a blast if they were this loud, if they smelled this good. I love that smell of the emissions.
I love the smell of emissions. You know, I have been known to say on the tarmac at airports that I love the smell of Jet A. I do. I love the smell of kerosene, so she loves the smell of emissions. Last night, ABC's World News Tonight. The correspondent is Yunji Denise, interviewing Palin at the National Archives on her Rolling Thunder bus tour. Denise said, certainly looks like a campaign bus. If you're not running for president, why the tour?
This isn't a campaign bus. This is a bus to be able to express to America how much we appreciate our foundation and to invite more people to be interested in all that is good about America.
All right, so she's taking a family on a trip to the archives, to Mount Vernon, to a number of other places. Just happenstance, she's going to end up in New Hampshire. I know, she is. It's what I said on Van Susteren's show last week. I said, she's finally, I think, at peace now. She's toying with him. It's like a mouse trapped in a corner by a very adept cat. And the cat just kept pawing the mouse and so forth, not killing it, just she's toying with them. And these guys they're frustrated as hell. Where's she going? Why doesn't she tell them? What's the real purpose of it? Whatever she's doing it all bypassing them. Unidentified correspondent, the next question. Is this a family vacation kind of thing? What is it?
We're meeting a lot of good folks already. The mission that we are on is to highlight America's foundation, and that's a nice thing that we're getting to do, bring the family along for the ride, but making sure that people are aware of where America came from, how it is that we have built ourselves into the most exceptional nation, and how important it is to restore what is good about America. And we're going to highlight some of these sites on this trip.
That was a security guy shutting it. Okay, guys, thanks very much. Thanks very much. Then she was in Gettysburg. Went to Gettysburg in Pennsylvania. Said this to reporters about the 2013 election.
I think the Republican field is already quite strong. It's going to change up a lot, and I think that there will be a more strong candidates jumping in. The field isn't set yet, not by a long shot.
So this morning on the Daily Rundown on PMSNBC, they talked Charlie Cook, who is the dean of political analysts and pollsters and so forth. He's got the Cook Political Report. It's eponymous. It means it's named after himself. And the co-hosts were F. Chuck Todd, Savannah Guthrie. So now let's talk about what Sarah Palin said. She thinks that the field is going to change up. There are going to be more strong candidates. Her words, more strong. Is she right?
I think she's just trying to stay relevant as long as possible. I really, really, really don't think she's going to run. Why should she give up her $1 million a year contract with Fox, $75,000 a speech? She's making more money than God ever intended her to make.
Whoa. 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 Now you have to say she's really irritating him now. She's making more money than God ever intended her to make. That's exactly right. How does this dumb broad make this kind of money and we don't? How can this dumb broad have figured out to con people out of this kind of money and we haven't? There's something unholy about this. Is just they think they've destroyed her. They think they're confident that they have seen to it that she's nothing but a blip on the radar screen. Now, I've never heard Charlie Cook talk about anybody this way, much less say this about anybody. I've never heard Charlie Cook talk about anybody this way, much less say something. He's never said, well, Al Gore making more money than God ever intended him to make. I would, by the way, support that assertion. Not finished. George Will. ABC's This Week, the roundtable yesterday. Christiane Amanpour, the hostette, said, George, what's up here? Is Sarah Palin going to run?
Two things are infinite. One is the expanding universe, and the other is media attention to Sarah Palin, who's a genius at manipulating it. She has several political problems, the first of which is there's no undecided vote in this country anymore about Sarah Palin, surely. Second, the threshold question. It's not usually asked, but it's in everyone's mind in a presidential election. Should we give this person nuclear weapons? And the answer answers itself there.
Okay, so George Will is convinced that there's no way the American people would ever give Sarah Palin nuclear weapons. We would readily give them to Barack Obama. But no way would we ever give Sarah Palin nuclear weapons. And would one of these soundbite tours be complete without, ladies and gentlemen, the contributions of David Brooks? No, New York Times. He was on Meet the Press during the roundtable on Sunday, and this is what he said about the Rolling Thunder Bus Tour with Sarah Palin.
She can manage her brand, but running for president is not American Idol. And I think people may agree with her, they may like her, but that doesn't mean they're going to vote for her. She's just not a team player. This is a team sport. Just take one little thing she did this week. She's taken her bus up to New Hampshire. She doesn't call the Republican Party in New Hampshire, tell them where she's going to appear. what she's going to do. So you got to play as part of the party. You got to play as part of the team. She's not a team player.
She's just not doing anything the way she's supposed to. Not doing anything according to the rules. Not doing anything according to the way the ruling class elites say it should be done. She's not doing anything. Right. Well, I don't know. What do you think would tick off the rank and file? What I don't know whether she's running or not. I just find their reaction to her over the top. They are totally discombobulated. They can't stand it. They can't stand any of it. They can't stand the fact that she's happy. They can't stand the fact she's making money. They can't stand the fact she's got a bus. She got the family on the bus. She traveled around. They can't stand the fact that she's not telling anybody where she's going. They can't stand the fact she didn't call the Republican Party in New Hampshire. They can't stand the fact she's not a team player. Of course, when she was on the team, where were they? They were doing everything they could, and they weren't stabbing her in the back, Snurdly, stabbing her in the front trying to get rid of her. They weren't stabbing her in the back. David Brooks, one more before we go to break. Let's see, Norris. Who's Norris? Michelle Norris. I'm sorry, this is Friday night. All Things Considered on NPR, and a co-host of Michelle Norris, and she's talking to Brooks. She said Governor Rick Perry of Texas says he's now considering a run in 2012. Perry is one candidate we really haven't spent much time talking about. Should we assume that a governor from a big state like Texas will automatically shake up the candidate pool?
There was a general view among Republicans that governors of Texas have been tried, and maybe they shouldn't go back to that well again so soon. I would say this week sort of belongs to John Huntsman. Among those who talk about those things, the former governor of Utah, his stock has suddenly risen, and I would say he seems to have entered the big three of Huntsman, Pawlenty, and Romney.
What is this among those who talk about those things? Among those who talk about those things is a Huntsman. Huntsman's stock has risen. Yeah, because he's so much in support of cap and trade and a number of other things that no Republican is ever going to be elected on. One more bite before we go to break is Andrew Sullivan. He was on the Chris Matthews syndicated show on Sunday morning. Andrew Sullivan is, he shows up where? Daily Beast blog The Dish, it says here. At any rate, Chris Matthews said to Andrew Sullivan, let's go to Palin. You love Palin. Some strange way you're fascinated by her, Andrew.
As I've said many times, she started running the day after 2008 election ended, and there's no reason to believe she isn't running. I do think Washington has misread her, underestimated her.
Andrew Sullivan. Washington has misunderstood her, misread her. Hey, finally, they got to McCain on this, too, by the way. McCain was on Fox News Sunday. Chris Wallace talked to him. Move ahead here to Soundbite 13. Chris Wallace said, can she win Senator McCain, the Republican nomination, and can she beat Barack Hussein Obama?
Of course she can. She can. Now, whether she will or not, whether she'll even run or not, I don't know.
Well, there you have it, McCain. Of course she can win. Of course she can. There's no doubt about it. Whether she'll run is the only question, McCain.
Hear it now. Read about